Welcome everyone to another episode of Meet DSA. I'm your host Astrid Quiroga, and I'm so grateful to welcome you to our fifth episode. Wow, time flies just so quickly, and I hope everybody had a great spring break, got some rest, do something fun, whatever you did. I hope it was a great time for you all. We needed that break. So today we have, I always say we have a special guest, but that's because we have so many special people on our UNT community. And so today I want to introduce you to Rachel Grimes. She's the Director of Co-Curricular Student Services at Frisco. How are you, Rachel?
I'm great. How are you, Astrid?
I'm doing great and super happy to have you here to
Well,
have
thank
a
you for having me.
conversation. Yes. Thank you for being here. So, I mean, the little I know from you and is that you have worked at UNT for a few years. I mean, I wouldn't say a few years. A lot of years now. You started as the Assistant Director of Financial Readiness, providing financial literacy education for you did that for over 10 years if I'm correct,
Yes. Yep.
and then you transitioned to being the assistant director of student affairs at UNT Frisco, where you are right now with a different role,
Yes.
of course. And your background, you did a bachelor's in international student, is that correct?
Studies.
Studies, sorry,
Studies. Yes.
international studies at Texas A&M, and a master on the same field at Texas State University.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my brief introduction. I would love you to tell us a little bit more about yourself, your background, and what is your role at UNT Frisco.
Sure. Thanks, Astrid. Well, I stumbled into working at the University of North Texas. I really thought that I would work for the State Department or the federal government or live somewhere abroad and maybe work for an embassy or some kind of nonprofit organization. And when I was in my graduate work, I ended up working at our career center there at Texas State, and I just really liked supporting and helping students. And that's sort of how I found my way to UNT through the Student Money Management Center. Worked there for many years with a new program that hadn't existed, so sort of built a new program for students to support them in their financial journey. And that really helped me transition here to UNT at Frisco, which opened in 2016, but really started to grow around 2019. And now we have about 3,000 students. And when I started at UNT at Frisco in 2019, we were in an office park. So we had a campus facility in an office park. And since then, we have opened a brand new building, which will be the permanent home of Frisco. So a lot of my experience in building a new program has transitioned into this role here at UNT at Frisco, where we're trying to essentially stand up another campus location, make sure all of the support resources that are in Denton are available for our students who come to our Frisco location and our online students. And so I collaborate with a lot of different departments to make sure that those things are available to students, and then work with students, of course, to support them in whatever their needs may be as well.
That's amazing, Rachel. And that just tell us that life is full of surprises, right?
Yes. Yep. You never know where you'll end up.
Yeah, exactly. Even for Frisco, look how all these years how it's been evolving to
Yes.
what is right now.
Yep.
And so, well, you already gave us like an overview of what students can expect when they go to UNT Frisco. And I'm asking this because as an online student, sometimes, sometimes no, we need to we want to know what can we expect when we go in person, because we know we can use those facilities as well.
Right.
And so what exactly student can expect when they step on an UNT Frisco campus, and what programs are typically offered there? Sorry.
Great. So I'll kind of talk about just sort of our space in general. We actually have two locations. So the location that is the biggest location is our Frisco Landing location. So that's our permanent home that I was telling you about. We have one building. So when you come to Frisco, everything will be in one building. 4 stories. And we kind of have your typical amenities that you might experience at Denton or even at a community college, but just on a smaller scale. So we do have a fitness center, we have library, we have computer labs, we kind of have an academic support space. We have lots of study space for students, a student org lounge, a cafe that we call the market. So those are kind of the things that are kind of available as far as amenities. The feeling at Frisco is that it's a little bit of a smaller, tight-knit community. So because we are just one building, at the Frisco Landing location, you'll probably see people, even if you're not in classes with them, you'll recognize them. We have students that work at our welcome desk, and they know a lot of the students that are here just because it is such a smaller population compared to what you might experience in Denton. We do have an additional building that is just down the road about 5 minutes, and that's where all of our science and lab-based classes are. That's called Inspire Park, and that one really is just a teaching building. So we have a student lounge there, but everything else is all classroom space. So if you're looking for a place to study, some of those student amenities, student organizations, big events, that's going to be at our Frisco Landing location.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so a little bit different than what you might experience at the larger Denton campus.
Totally. Yeah, I had the pleasure to be once at UNT Frisco, and I love how the space feels so welcoming, kind of like this has this modern look and light everywhere. I love that.
Yes, a very open building with lots of windows and natural lighting throughout as well.
I really love that. And what is the typical population attending UNT Frisco? The student population?
Yeah, so we tend to be a little bit of an older student population. When UNT at Frisco first started, we only offered upper level courses. So think your junior and senior level courses. So kind of you've already maybe been to community college and you're transferring in, or you transferred from another university, or you're finishing out your last 2 years of a program that is offered in Denton. So majority of our classes are still for those upper classmen type courses, or the end of your college career courses. We do have some students who are younger. We do offer now courses that you can start in your first year as a first-year student, but the majority are going to be those upper levels. So we're a little bit of an older student population. A lot of our students also work full-time, so the majority of our classes are in the evening for all the majors that we have, or start late afternoon. So if you come here at 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, you might wonder, does anybody even go to school here? And that's just because the bulk of our classes are in the evening or start late afternoon to sort of accommodate those students who are working full-time.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be also an opportunity to network with these students, because probably they're already working in an industry that they are studying also. So, I mean, yes. So now that you mentioned this type of students, we understand that we have a significant amount of non-traditional students. And so can you tell us a little bit more about student support outside the classroom for these students?
Right. So for the students that we have, because a lot of our students are transfer students or are they're almost into graduation, our biggest emphasis for support is really the career piece. So what are you needing to kind of get you into that next step? If you're already working full-time, what do you need to get that promotion? What does that look like? Or are you trying to break into a different industry? If you're not working as a full-time professional, or you're not in a career that you think this is going to be the career for me, what kind of tools can we get you to where you want to be to step into that career, whatever it may be? So we're very big on career service and career support. So that's probably the biggest aspect. And that's actually built into a lot of the courses that we have or offer at our location too. They're like the courses in Denton, but they're slightly different. And then they're a little bit more project-based focused because we have some smaller class sizes here. So that'd be the biggest student support service that I see that we really try to help all students get engaged with, is that career piece. And then, of course, we have some other pieces as well. So student organizations is another big one. A lot of people want to get connected while they're here. And that's what we know kind of helps you sometimes in that job search as well, as knowing people who can connect you. So that's the next big piece. And then all of those support services that just help you be successful and take away some of the stress of being a student. So if that's talking with financial aid, if that's visiting our food pantry, counseling, and then a big piece of academic support through academic coaching, tutoring, the writing lab, and the math lab as well.
Wow. And one of the programs that when I was navigating through the UNT website is called Frisco Engage Program. Can you tell us a little bit about that program?
Sure. So Frisco Engage, because we know our students aren't with us for very long, like I said earlier, we want you to get connected in really two aspects. One is that career path piece. So within Frisco Engage, there are 6 modules or steps within the career path that you can do in any order that you would like that sort of help you get career ready. And you can do those with our career services staff, or maybe you've already done a resume. Maybe you've already been in an interview. You can take that experience and you can write a short reflection within the Frisco Engage program. And if you complete 6 of those modules, in the career path, you can get a UNT Frisco graduation cord. If you're like, you know what, I'm good on my career piece, I really need to think about everything else that UNT offers me, then we have a personal track within Frisco Engage that also has 6 modules. And those are really focused on sort of the wellness things that anybody needs, whether they're in school or they're not in school. So we're focusing on wellness, financial, social, community, civic engagement, and then last but not least, your academics. So within those 6 modules, there's different things that you can participate in throughout the semester here with us at UNT at Frisco, or through online opportunities, or maybe something you do on your own already. So for example, for the wellness module, if you already are in a yoga class or you already are part of a community walking group, you can use that participation to count towards your wellness module, and you just write a short reflection on that. Or we offer something that you can participate in with all of those 6 focus areas. Do your 6 focus area reflections, and you'll also earn a UNT in graduation cord as well, UNT at Frisco graduation cord.
Yes.
So the purpose of Frisco Engage is just to help our students take advantage of all the things that we offer to them, and to help them start thinking about and connecting what they're learning in the classroom, what they're experiencing at UNT, into other parts of their life, not just their academic or career piece, and then think about post-graduation, how am I going to still do these things in my life? Or how have I seen that participating in these different things benefit me now? And I want to ensure that I seek those out later. So that's really the whole purpose of Frisco Engage, is to be really holistic for our students and help them think about different aspects of their lives.
Yes, and that's so important, because as an online student, and in every aspect, every student deal with a lot of like the stress of like completing their academic goals, right? But I mean, these programs are designed specifically for this, to help you navigate those challenges and to be successful in other areas that, I mean, so important in our lives. And so another thing, you mentioned earlier that you're trying to bring, kind of like replicate some of the programs that the main campus here in Denton we have for our students. But the student services at Frisco collaborate in any way with other campuses, departments, or divisions to support online students?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that we are working on right now is we are working with UBSC, which is our marketing team at UNT, to really ensure that students understand what they can tap into here at UNT at Frisco. So there is a website out there. It's called Succeed at UNT.
Okay.
And there's a Frisco tab. that highlights all the different resources, departments that we have an actual physical body for here at our location. Or if we don't have somebody who's here all the time, we provide their schedule. And I'll give you an example. So for example, we have a lot of international students online and in person with us here at UNT at Frisco. We do not have an International Student Services office, but we do have a representative that comes out every other week. So we have that kind of information on that Succeed at UNT website. And so those are the types of partnerships and resources that we start working towards. Every semester, we survey our students and we ask about things that are barriers to their success. And so if we start to notice that a lot of students are requesting a specific resource, we try to figure out, if we don't already have it, how can we get that resource here? What does it look like? And what do students need from that resource? So that International Student Service one was one that we got a lot of requests for from our international students. We also work in the similar vein with our Office of Disability Accommodations for students who need additional testing time, things like that. And then we try to, with our Frisco Engage programs, for example, and even with career, okay, what can we make available online? What types of resources can students tap into that they don't necessarily need to come to our campus for? Do we have virtual appointments available for all of the services that we provide so that if someone isn't here physically in the state of Texas and in the DFW area, they can access those resources? And so that's where Succeed website, Succeed at UNT website really kind of taps into all the different ways that you can access the different resources, whether you want to come in or whether you want to do something virtually.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We have all these options as a student, and I mean that you're working towards like creating a cohesive environment, like and connect with students with the different resources across campuses. Because at the end of the day, we're just one family. UNT is just one. It's just we're offering these options for students that are in different locations, which I'm so impressed and looking forward to explore more of those services and options and take advantage of those as well. And let's talk about the future. What are some of the future goals or initiatives? You have talked already about, like, just mention a few of those, but something in specific that you can provide us for specifically for student services at UNT Frisco coming up soon.
So the biggest thing that we're really looking forward to is we just had our first career fair, which was on March 20th.
Virtual career fair, or
it was not virtual. So that's our next step, is to make that virtual. So that's one big piece for us, is to add the virtual career fair component when we have the in real time career fair as well. So that's one thing that we're really excited about. We're also excited about trying to create opportunities for our online learners to join something that we have called a speaker series. And it's typically a panel focused on a specific industry or maybe a specific career topic. And so our goal is to not only figure out how to stream those, live stream them, but also have participation from our online viewers as well through questions and maybe some different polling that they can actually participate in with the panelists that we bring out for those. So those are the two big things that we're looking forward to for the fall semester that'll really be able to support our online students.
Yeah. What a great way to connect both, like the people that go in person and online students. So yes, and if there is one thing or maybe a couple that you can highlight that your department has accomplished and that you were part of that initiative, what would that be in this role? Because I know you've been working at UNT for so long, but specifically for student services.
Probably the biggest thing is Frisco Engage, which I already talked about. And the reason that I am excited about Frisco Engage, and I think it's good for any student, whether they're in person, online, move between Denton and Frisco, whatever it may be, is that, yes, we encourage you to come to participate and get credit for those different modules that I spoke about through the programs that we provide, but we also want to make it accessible for anybody. And if you have a really tight time schedule, which we know a lot of our students do, they don't have a lot of additional time. We want to make it be able to complete it without having to be here in person at a specific time on a specific day. So we've really tried to make it very versatile for anybody so that they can complete it, participate, and sort of get the benefits of that. So that's probably the biggest thing that I am really proud of. And then the second thing would just be supporting our students regardless of where they are. So we've worked really hard, because we don't have every single service here, to figure out how do we get a service to a student where they don't have to go to Denton to complete that. And that really serves our online students as well, because now if somebody can do something virtually, well, then that means our online students can do it virtually too. And so just making sure that those are really well known amongst our staff in particular and our faculty, so that they don't feel like the only resource is back in Denton. Hey, there are things that people can take advantage of virtually. So that's the biggest thing. And then the last thing is, physically here in this building, when we first moved in, we kind of set our fitness center hours. And then we realized that doesn't really work with when our students are here, because we had them open very early in the morning, and then they kind of closed at 5:30. And so we weren't really getting a lot of people coming and working out. And so we adjusted those so that we're open later in the evening, we open later in the morning, and we've seen a lot more students be able to take advantage of that service as well. So those are probably some of the bigger things that I'm proud of since starting this role here at UNT at Frisco.
Wow, kudos to you and all your team doing all these things for our students, for us. And so if you can provide us a few tips for students to be successful in online learning environments, what will those be?
I think the biggest tip for me, and probably all of you students have heard this before, and you're like, okay, is to really think about what your course load looks like and what other obligations you have. So I've worked with many students who are online or in person, who really have a goal of getting done as fast as possible, or this semester I want to take 12 credit hours or 18 credit hours. But when they start to look at either the workload in those courses combined with what they have to do outside, if they're a parent or they're working full time or whatever it may be, sometimes that's really, really hard to be successful in all of those things. So the biggest tip that I would leave our online students in particular, because sometimes some of those online classes are self-paced, is as you start to register for those courses, try to find the old syllabus from those instructors. What does the course load look like? And if I take this course in combination with other courses, plus all the things I know that is going on in my life, am I going to be able to be successful? Am I going to have enough time to balance out all of these things?
Yeah.
And so that's probably the biggest tip. And this is true for everybody. Time management is so important, but it's a particularly important for our students in their academic success and their personal success too.
Agree, 100%. I've been there in those moments that I want to just get everything done at once. And that's, I mean, it can be possible, but how much you're going to retain how much knowledge you can retain from that stress of just getting things accomplished. But yes, so I second that a tip. Yes, time management is so important. And also I will say, like, using the resources, like to take care of your health, take care of your finances, because this is an investment you're doing for your life as well. So time, finances, and your health are, key in this. Yes. And so we're getting close to the end of this interview. Is there anything in particular that I missed as far as the services you provide, or do you have any upcoming activities that you want to highlight today for our students?
Yeah, I do want to highlight something you just made me think about with health. We
Yes.
do have telehealth appointments as well.
Oh,
So,
nice.
and those sometimes are dependent on where you might be located as to whether you can access those. And that's more so for our counseling services. So they can only serve where they're licensed, areas in which they're licensed. But for our medical providers, you can utilize the telehealth appointments as well. And we promote that to our students here at Frisco because we don't have a health center here.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something to look into if you're interested in that. And if you do happen to be in the Frisco area on April 8th, I would encourage you to come out. We will be in the path of totality for the solar eclipse.
That's
and so we'll be having
fantastic.
lots of activities for that day, open to friends and family as well. So we encourage you to register so we know you're coming out and we can send you information about parking and different things for the day. So that's a really big event for us, and we're excited to have this experience with all of our students, faculty, staff, and their friends and family as well.
That is so amazing. So anybody, I mean, every student can bring their families and friends if they want to, right? But they need to register.
Yes,
first.
yeah. Please
Okay.
register so we make sure we have enough glasses for everybody, and we send you all the information about parking and the food that's going to be available. And if you are not able to come on April 8th, but you happen to be in the area the week prior to, so the week of April 1st, we will also have a solar eclipse glasses for students, and they can come pick those up at our Frisco Landing location. And they'll also be available in Denton as well. But if you happen to live close to us, you can swing by and you can pick up some solar eclipse glasses for yourself and to share with a friend or a family member.
Well, thank you for sharing this. And those who are streaming live, they can just scan the QR code over here. But Rachel, if students wants to learn more about other resources and services, where they can go, where they should go?
Yeah, so the best resource is going to be our UNT at Frisco homepage under Student Services. That Succeed at UNT Frisco website that I talked about, there is a Frisco tab. So that's Frisco specific for students. And that'll also have some of the same support resources, services, things that you can look into to help you on your journey.
Yes, and we're displaying currently like the services offered with times, what times of the day you can go, the building hours and stuff. So I invite everybody to go to UNT Frisco website and check all this information. And that's pretty much what I have for you today, Rachel. It's been a pleasure having this conversation with you. As an online student, I've been learning so much from the people I've been having in this space, and we are just so grateful to have you today and to share all your expertise, your knowledge in the services that is student services at Frisco provides. So thank you so much, Rachel.
Well, thank you for having me, Astrid. And I would encourage anybody, even if you are online and you never take a class in person at UNT, but you just want to come have a nice study space. If you happen to live in the area, our doors are always open to you, and we're here to help you in whatever way we can.
Thank you so much. And don't miss the solar eclipse on the 8th. That looks super fun. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Rachel, once again. We are going to post this information on our YouTube channel, where you can also check for our previous interviews. Yes, please leave any comments. We will get to those as soon as we can. But thank you so much for being part of this Meet DSA project and the UNT family.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a great one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.